The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi everyone, Basil Chapman on this Friday the 23rd of June. Early edition. This is 8:06 in the morning. It'll be replayed. It'll be 10:06. Let's see what the market's doing at that time. Maybe the futures are just going to translate into the cash. We'll see what happens if there's an 8:30 report that spikes the market higher, and I'll talk about that right now. So we've got the Dow closing yesterday at 33,946, down just 4 points. So it's had 3 days of negative action. The whole thing is, look at the way the lows have been sequential to the downside in a very small range. But after that turnaround and that Chapman wave the Chapman wave Roman candle of the 16th of June at 34,588, and then that was an inverted one. Then a regular one the very next day always is a warning to say, hey, Chapman wave Roman candle within a day of making a top or making the top, you've got to be careful because it needs to close above that candle wick, and that would be the Dow. This is going to be a technical day because it's technical Friday. So it would need to close above 34,206.66. Well, it didn't. It closed, it made a lower low, just slightly a lower low. And then a second day, yesterday, after that second Roman candle. So this says to me that we can go to the futures now. And of course, this is pre-market, but the futures are down 127. Look at these red candles all week from last Friday, a week ago. Turnaround Friday, Chapman wave Roman candle right there. Those are the futures. Peak D. In the Chapman wave methodology, let me just show you this quickly, if I can get to it. That's not it. This is it right here. We're always looking for higher highs. And okay, let me just get it. There it is. From an identifiable low bar, you merely want to count each successively higher peak, alphabetize them sequentially. Each higher peak by 1 penny goes to peak A, then it's B, then it's C, D, E, F, G, never an H. At D, which is the objective, going from a buy signal upgraded to a buy mode, you want to see a D at least. They can go higher, but your objective is to get to a D. Well, we had a buy signal upgraded to a buy mode, and what did we do? On the left side, you can see we got to that D. Then we haven't even made a dreaded H yet. I thought there was a chance because the 9-period moving average was so strong above the 14-period. I said either we just constantly go down very sharply, we use up price and time. My thinking was it would be time because the 9-period moving average hadn't crossed negative. But look how deep it's turned down. Look at this, MACD finally, this is intraday. This is now at 8:09 a.m. So anything can happen after the report coming up at 8:30. The market can say, oh, phew, thank goodness, and have a big spike. I was expecting yesterday, yes, we did get that up move, but we didn't hold that up move. And I was expecting that we would have a rally towards the 34,000. I'm talking about the futures right here. Towards the 34,000, like that, 34,450 area, go to a gray A, meaning that the technicals were not confirming, and then make a dreaded H pattern. And that would make this coming week a very serious week, because if we started to come back down, then the 200-period moving average of 33,773 would become a target. So the day is young. I just wanted to show you a couple of, since it's Technical Friday, let me show you this. I was drawing this in when the price was way up over here. I wanted to show how the Chapman wave methodology works. I'm always looking at price symmetry. I call it left side, right side price time match. You can go to the upside where it goes from a low to a high and comes back down to that exact level in the same number of bars, or it can go up and do the same thing. Well, I chose this particular low right here in the E-mini from 7 o'clock, 6:59 Eastern Time, the low of 4,400.50. And I always like to bump into what I call the Grand Canyon right there. I went all the way and I went to the midpoint at peak G right there. Yes, there was a potential instant restart, but the 9 was so strong above the 14. Look how long it took for this to turn. It almost looks like a mirror image of what we're looking at right here. Look at that 9-period moving average, the green line. Let me just see how you can see it pretty well. I'm just looking at Tiger TV. You can see it pretty well. This green line right here, it took from that peak G, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the 11th bar saw the 9-period move. No, it didn't. 11, 12, 13, 14, the 14th bar, that would be 14 days, was where it turned pink, and it turned all the way down. This is what I call the Chapman wave inside wedge, target, support line, pink dashed on the bottom, green dashed on the way up. It's a resistance target, resistance line. And lo and behold, it's held that. And I put this X in. You see this X right here? There it is. That was my target price for the symmetry going to 812 this morning. And it was supposed to hit the 4,400 level. Well, the low was 43.99. It did it a few bars before, but it did get to my X right there. So now you're looking at the stochastic at 15%. The on-balance volume is very weak. The MACD is very weak. So we need to hear news. Something has to happen. And if that happens, it says that there could be a bounce. But wait a minute, we need to look at a longer. I could do the 5-minute. I usually like to do the 1, the 5, and the 10. It's like the daily, weekly, monthly. But in the meantime, I've got 1 and 10 right now because I don't have time to do everything. So look what it's done. It's in a trading band. And a trading band, even though it's gone above and it's gone below, basically you're in this trading band. And this trading band basically says if we break under the low that was made right there of 43.99, then you can very quickly see a test of the low that was made at 43.96.25. And a narrow rectangle formation can last a lot longer than your patience is. You think, oh, it's going to break out, it's going to break out. And then what it does, it just flips around and comes down. And you say it's going to go break down. And all it does is flips around. So this is a really important dreaded H. Lowercase h goes to a lowercase m. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. For those of you new to my work, let's just do this right here. A lowercase h. So the dreaded H is when you come down sharply, you try to rally, you fade at a peak A or a B, usually it's an A or a B, and you come back and retest the low. If you take out that low, it can go 1-to-1 to the downside. On the way up, if you take out that high, the reverse Y pattern, green, because if you take out that higher, left side high, you can go 1-to-1 to the upside even. So, okay, within that context, this lowercase h, if it holds the left side low, it can make another H, a smaller or a bigger one. But usually if it's held that left side low, that's the opportunity that it can close above that arch high, and that's really positive. But normally it gets stuck and it goes into this H, and all it's doing is making a sine wave. An H, then a U, and then an H, and a U. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, the futures are down. Dow's down 129, and the S&P futures are down 23. I'll be back in a moment.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hi folks, we're back. Basil Chapman, early edition. This is 8:18 a.m. in the morning. It'll be replayed at 10:18. This will come across. So I'll be doing. This will be recorded for replay. We're looking at the E-mini down 25 at 43.98. This is still a leg A. The Dow is in a leg A down. It hasn't made a trough A. This is in a leg down. And maybe it's a trough A. We'll see what happens in the 8:30, whatever economic news is. But in both cases, the weekly chart, although the technicals are really strong in the Dow, the S&P, this is the S&P futures, as well as the NQ or the QQQ Index 100, this is a D, and a really good chance that it makes a peak D in the weekly chart today. That's what we're always looking for. Remember, we just discussed that there's a peak D right there, right in the Chapman Wave inside track repellent zone. But the 9 period was still holding really well. This was back in, I think it was March or so, April. Now look at this. You've got the Dow itself, and this is different to the futures, but the Dow itself has gone to a leg D with a really good chance that this is going to be a peak D with a potential double top. 34712 was the high back in, that was January. No, sorry, that wasn't January. It's the weekly chart. That was December of 2022, and 34,588 just underneath it was the high this last Friday. So we're looking at a chance that you do make a sideways consolidation, and that's really what I'm thinking we've got here. We've got some kind of a consolidation, a rotational consolidation, number one. Number two is, if you look at the QQQ, same thing. The QQQ is down 2.61 pre-market. This is a GSASC. A couple of times now we've seen in some of the key stocks that we have made peak Gs right here, but there is an alternative count because look how strong the 9 is above the 14. So any news today at 8:30 in the next 7 minutes or whatever it is, 10 minutes, could see a spike. So the Qs are holding way better, even though everyone's talking about, oh, we've got the Magnificent Seven, which are mostly in the Qs. It doesn't matter. The fact is the chart is the chart. And even though they are starting to weaken, although Amazon, look at this, Amazon trading a new high, went to that GSASC and actually did go to the D in the Chapman Wave falling axe formation. Here we are. In leg D, it's down only 25 cents pre-market. High yesterday was 130.33. leg C, only a leg C in the weekly chart, and a leg B in the monthly chart. So you've got some of them that are holding very well. If you go to Apple, pre-market, it's only down 1. It went to an alternate count G/B. So that means after G, there's never an H. So there are a couple of ways that I can count this, but to be as kind of brutally accurate as I can, I have to say this is, I think this could be a C right here. A leg C means it should still go to a D. A leg D in the weekly, I'm giving precedence to the D in the weekly because all the technicals are strong. And that's what I mean, that this is a digestive phase. I don't see this yet as the big smash to the downside. And at any moment, we could get a sudden spike. But wait a minute, the SMHs, the semiconductors, have pulled back sharply down, $1.48 pre-market at 148.60. 155.94 was the high of the is that the 16th? Yep, the 16th of June. And at peak D, what are we waiting for? D, we've got, let's just go to this for a moment. Where did it go? Yeah, so this is a G/C in the weekly chart. Beautiful cup formation. Left side, right side, price, time match. There's bar symmetry. Says you can go until the week of the 14th of July to get to the high that was made on the week of the 1st of January. No, the 7th of January at 159.55. Everything here still is very strong. So that's the reason why it took me a little while to say, yeah, I've got that peak D. Normally at peak D, we'd start taking cautionary measures, which we did. We got out of our aggressive long positions in the UDOW. We're still long from October, both the UDOW and the Dow. We've got long positions. Look at this. When you talk about a correction in an overbought, look at this. I've been talking about this for weeks and weeks. Symbotic Inc., end-to-end AI robotic warehouse automation systems. So we got a half a position, and we're at 21. It hit 53.80. I said, this is impossible. We've got to be taking money off. We've been taking money off. So we have a core position, but look at this, 51.83 down to yesterday's 41.72 low in 11 points. I mean, so 20%, is that right? Something like 20% in days. Look at that for a pullback. And it's a peak E in the weekly chart, which looks to me like it's really extended. I don't want to add. We want to add to this position. I don't want to add just yet because it's in the digestive phase. I have to find some support. I have to find if the downside pressure now, if we haven't turned the corner and now we're looking at the whoops on the way up and the whoops on the way down, could it fill the gap in the 35s? Oh, absolutely. So you need patience now to be entering on a trading position. If there is a bounce this morning, we are so oversold. Look at the on-balance volume. Let me just go to, what do we go to? Let's go to the YM futures. So the YM, look at this. The on-balance volumes pull back really sharply. It's really close, not yet ready at the right, like that V-shaped turnaround, but it's ready for a bounce. So anything can happen. So yes, we have started our short position. Right at the close yesterday, we got what we waited all day for, actually a couple of days for, and we finally got a position. And we are trying to add to another area, another sector for a short position, aggressive, 3 times long, but not a big position, just a smallish, but it's because it's a lower price, I decided we could be a little bit more aggressive. And now I'm saying to the market, show me. I know you've got the strength. We just saw in the E-mini how long it took to break down when the 9-period moving average was really strong. Now we're going to see how long it takes to go from pink to green. It could do that in the next 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It could do that. This is a trough F right now. There was an instant restart right there, and here we go. So now the alternate count, no alternate count, is an A, a gray A on the upside. Gray because the MACD is still, it turned up, but it's still in the very over, it's in the weak area, and the stochastic did rally. but it's not yet above 80%. It's 64, and the on-balance volume is extremely oversold on a very short-term 1-minute basis. And the 10-minute chart has broken that support. It's gone down. It's not at the low that was made at 43.96.25 at about 4 o'clock this morning, but it's on its way down there. So this is going to be really important. Okay, so a couple of things we wanted to look at. Here we go. We looked at the indices. Look at gold. Gold is trying to find some support in a trough G. It's an alternate count right now, A, B, G/C at this particular point, G/C. When we get back, market might be turning around for the day. We'll see what happens, but it's very weak right now. Actually, I should say it's very weak. It's only down 134. Remember, I said major sells get big moves to the downside in the futures early on. I'll be back. Basil Chapman, early edition on the Friday, 23rd.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly Gold Report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, everyone, we're back. 8:30. Ping, 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 ping. Something's going to happen. Sure, let's just watch this for you. I love watching this. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, Dreaded H. Any news? Is there any news? No news yet. 8:30, 8:31. Come on, spiked up, down, any way you want. But give me something here. Here's your Dreaded H pattern. Will it take out this left side? No, they haven't got the news yet. They're just waiting. Waiting. Anybody in the den hear something? All right, nothing yet. All right, it hasn't taken out that left side low, 43.96, I think it is. Let's see what happens. All right, well, in the meantime, let's just do this. Look, gold, I'll tell you when I'll start to see movement. Gold, well, the dollar is ready. It's up. It's at 102.94. It's up 83 up 53 ticks. Gold, as I said before, did try to find a bottom yesterday. It did. Today it made a low of 19.5 in the continuous contract. And right now it's up 7. That could change as I'm talking. 19. But look at silver. Look at the chart of silver. Look at these lowercase h that goes to a lowercase m and then takes out the low. Look at this. This is in a sell mode in the weekly chart. So, and it's gone back to that rectangle support level so that's the weekly chart. In the monthly chart, look at this SI. Here we go. SI down 0.15 at 22.31. Of course, the news has just come out. It's a little bit of a delay here. As I said, the dollar was up about 51 ticks at 102.93. Let me just have a look here because I heard the little ping. And we've got John in Philly. John, how are you?
Basil, I'm doing very well. Thanks for taking the call, sir.
It's my pleasure. You'd like to look at?
Copper, sir. The ticker symbol on that, Basil, is HGN3. Henry, George, Nancy 3.
Okay,
Basil,
HGN 2-3. Here we go. I've got the continuous contract. I just want to say, yeah, it's exactly the same. Peak A, B, C, D, E, and we've got an F today if there is a close. Okay, if there's no higher high. Yeah, your question, John.
Yes, Basil, I have been, well, thank you. I'm looking on Tiger TV as we speak, so I see your artwork. I appreciate that. I have been trading copper from the long side. Let me think. I see. Yeah, we made a low back there down near 355.
Are you talking about the week of the 26th of May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
And just yesterday, I booked gains on a core long position and a supplemental scalp buy trading position. So I'm flat. And I'll just share this with you, Basil. My speculation is the weekly chart bottomed back there in May. And what I'd like to do is ask if you can just go through the weekly, monthly, and daily charts and tell me what your read is. And more specifically, once you give that read, what level you would find as an attractive risk-reward repurchase point on that copper contract.
So, folks, what we're looking at here, and John, I know that you would never trade the continuous contract. You always trade the contract that you think is most current or the one that gives you the most information. So but if you don't mind, I'm using the continuous because I've got this one notated in Chapman Wave. Yes, the daily on the left, weekly in the middle, and on the right is the monthly. And I'll talk about these. First of all, I'll talk about the patterns just in relation to all the stuff that I look at. Now, I'm not sure if you actually keep your 200-period moving average on all your charts, but I know that you do look at that, and I look at the exponential moving average, and you can see that the resistance back in late April, early May, where it popped over this orange 200-period moving average and then turned down, and then it gave you more than a 1-to-1 from that peak C back in mid-April, around about just under 4.20. It gave you more than a 1-to-1 to the downside. And look what happened when it made that low on around about the 23rd or so of May. Let me just check the exact date because it was a double bottom. 3.5450, 5.464. Okay, so right here, at that low, that double bottom low, it went to a peak A, a peak B, then the 9-period moving average turned up, cross positive, it went to a C, D, and I did not actually do this. I usually put in, when I get a very quick 3 bars, within 3 bars it goes to a new high after peak D. I put in a circle saying it could be a Chapman Wave instant restart. I didn't even bother there because the 9 was so strong, the MACD was so strong, and the stochastic was still strong that I thought, okay, let's see if it gets to an E, F, and even a G. But look what happened. The 9-period moving average is very strong. You can see a little dashed line here, which is the 50-period moving average. I hardly ever use it except when I see that it's an important inflection point where we've gone above and then below that 9-period moving, that 50-period moving average. And now we've got to this count that I call, at least for the moment, I'm staying with an F. The reason being it coincides so well with almost all the indices and key stocks that I'm looking at that says in this exact period is where time-wise I was anticipating there should be some kind of a digestive phase. And all I can say is that based on the magnet of the 200-period moving average, the further away we go, in other words, to the downside, if we start to trade at about 3.78, that's on the continuous contract, then I suspect that low of the 12th of June of 3.735 is going to be hit. That's going to be a really big test of shorter-term strength. That's number one. So the daily chart hasn't yet given me any signal to say I've got a sell signal or sell mode. I have to wait for the day to finish. I'm looking at the candle. Anything can happen on a daily candle. You have to wait for the close. And since it's the futures, anything can happen up until even after 4 o'clock this afternoon. So with that said, my eye says that because it went underneath so sharply this morning, under the 14 period of 3.83 in the daily chart, there's just a really good chance. And if you don't mind, I like to mix the fruits together, even though there might be apples and oranges. But in this case, I'm going to wood, which is the global. This is the global iShares Timber and Forestry ETF. And you'll see in the monthly chart, there's a potential dreaded H. In the weekly chart, there's been a kind of a flat move to the side. It's not been able to rally strongly. And in the daily, there was this, it's like a right arm extension. I can't call it a rogue wave because it was a very steady move up and gave it all up. And now I'm calling that an E under the 200-period moving average. Why am I talking about wood, the iShares Timber and Forestry ETF? Because like copper, it is international. So in this particular instance, I've got a coincidence. See, there's the H pattern in the monthly chart, and the weekly chart is basically started to make in the falling axis. I don't want to go into that right now, but we're making lower lows and lower highs, and the pink 9-period moving average in the weekly is still showing weakness in the weekly chart of high-grade copper. So to put that, and I'll just jump in. I don't know if I've updated it. SCCO, gone to a peak A, peak B, and a peak C. And it's also it's actually holding quite well. And if I go to FCX, I know that you probably want to get back to your trading, so you might be listening to me. I'll continue with this because it's so important to put this all together. But we have got a peak D so far in FCX. I'll be right back with John in Philly. The S&P futures are down 30. The Dow is down 175. I'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD. Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-Shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
So the Den and the Den said that they're going to update the PMI to 9:45 rather than 8:30. So we're going to have to wait an hour, 9:45, to see what happens. So, okay. Meantime, so FCX, which is Freeport McMoran Company, copper, and we're looking at a peak D in the daily, but a very nice pullback, really a very orderly pullback, holding way above the 9-period moving average, and the 9's way above the 14, and way above the 200-period moving average. But look at the Chapman wave inside wedge target. Listen, you see it looks like a falling axe pattern. Here's the handle. Here's the blade of the axe. It's a little bit wide, like an expanding cone, declining expanding cone. Right there, look at that resistance, and look at the sequence of the time where there's not exact symmetry, but you've got your U and your second U with lower lows and lower highs. So this just says to me, if Freeport McMoran is able to trade above 41.30 anytime next week, that is going to be really good action. I'll just grab TGB. I like to put it together to sake of mind. Yep, this is a lot weaker. It's under the 200-period moving average. All right, let's get back to the high-grade copper because, as I say, it's really an important ingredient in the smorgasbord of things we look at. The day is young, a big move down, 0.09, but that's not a big deal in terms of where we've come from. But it's a really big candle that's taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's gone 9 sessions back to where we were 9 sessions ago. And if you're looking at the weekly chart, most of the technicals are still very, very weak. So where would I get back in? Let's just say that over the coming week, instead, I'll give you two scenarios. One is if there is a move above the 9-period moving average, which is at this particular point, if I can read it, 385.09. If there is a move, I'm going to make it a little bit more. It's more than halfway into the week. 3.859, yeah. 3.859. It's at 3.8015 right now. Then we could get another test close to the high, recent high of 3.96 area. And if I do a measured move from this high, from yesterday to wherever it comes, let's say Tuesday or Wednesday, there's a chance that the MACD will be weaker and the stochastic will go under 80%. It's under 80% right now, it's 78%. So that's what I'd look at to say any rally, if there are weak technicals, it's going to come back down. But if it gets even close to today's high in the futures, which is at 3.8910, then that 200-period moving average becomes a magnet. It'll attract the price. I'm thinking it's the other way around, that it'll stay fairly weak most of the session. And by Tuesday, even if there is a bit of a rally, we'll take out whatever the low is today. So far, the low is 3.7970. If that's the case, then I'm looking at a measured move, and that measured move says round about Tuesday, we could be testing Wednesday of next week, we could be testing 3.72. If the weakness persists, then whatever the news is, a 8:45, it's a 10:45 today, it doesn't impact by much. Although this oversold condition said we're really ready for a bit of a bounce, but that doesn't mean to say it has to happen. I hope that helps you, John. So in other words, negative, I think you've made a fantastic trade. I think you've got out, at least the way I'm looking at it, I probably would have said at least 2/3 off, keep a little bit on, because so far the technicals in the daily chart are saying it's still good, but you've done what you've done and you've taken your profit, and there's nothing wrong in that. Where would I add? I'd add with the market pulling back into next week. I might even have to wait 2 weeks, because I think if this is a rollover, and today we closed down more than 125, S&P more than 26 points down at the close today, that's going to be very negative action. It'll be really positive if the Dow actually closes either unchanged or like it was yesterday, or slightly higher, and to say, hey, that 9-period moving average is still active and it's nothing to dismiss. But the way it's looking, the speed with which it's gone from very positive to kind of close to turning down, I have to respect that and say, you got to be careful. Okay, with that said, TLT. Look at this. This is bonds. Bonds are now unchanged at 102.31. I've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been saying it was back in April, early April, mid-April, that I had Mike on the phone from Boston. It was 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, and the TLT was at 106, and I said to him, the way I'm looking at this, bonds and yields are just stuck in a range, and they can be stuck for a long time. It could be the end of the month, and we might be close to the 106 area. Well, at one point, right at the end of the month, we had 103, or 103.63, almost 104. So it's been stuck in a range, and that's the way I think, at least for now, that's the way I'm looking at it. If you look at the TBT, now this is fascinating. Look, I want you to show you the left side, right side, price time match, that bar symmetry. So look, here's the dreaded H. It went to a peak F, comes down sharply. Remember, that's the pattern that we were looking at just a moment ago. If I can just grab, look, there it is. It comes down sharply. It rallies to a peak A or a B and then takes out the left side low, dreaded H. But it's got 3 sessions in which to close above, and that says, whew, now you could rally. You're not going to rally to the high, but you could rally at least to an icon on the left side, a gap or a moving average or a doji candle. So yes, you could rally to the 30.22 area. This is the TBT, the inverse. So that's yields. So, but here's the M-shaped pattern that went to a lowercase h, lowercase m, and that can repeat over and over. And that's kind of what we've got here. Look, there it is. We're stuck in a range. We just saw that. We saw that right here. Look what happens when you're stuck in a range. You can stay in that range for quite a while. There it is. H goes to an M, goes to a second arch formation. Now it's taken out, and the S&P is down 36. And that's the reason why I said to subscribers, for the last week, I said, got to be careful, got to be careful. Let's keep raising cash, raise cash. And then we finally went short. And we just missed by pennies, I think, shorting another instrument, 3 times short, got a small position there. So all I can say is that we've got our positions. Now the market has to say you're either correct or you're not correct. There's nothing else you can do. So within that context, here we go. I want you to talk about, so yields are in a range. And I'll show you, this is the pattern of the TNX. That's the 10-year, a little different to the 30-year, but the TNX has gone to the Y pattern, fighting the arch formation. And all it's doing right now is it's saying, I'm stuck in a range. I'm at 37.06. That's 3.706. I can't make up my mind, and I don't have to make up my mind as long as I'm going sideways. But the sideways pattern right now is in the upper range. That's what I would like to say. The yields are in the upper range. But the monthly chart has the potential to make a cup formation, and that says be careful, because at any point in the summer, I'll just say in the next 4 to 6 weeks, if there is a close on a weekly basis, this is a monthly chart I'm looking at, but if there is a close on a weekly basis above the high of March, which was at 40.93, 4.09. If there is a close above that, we're going to the high of the 10-year Treasury note. NPH, I must have typed that in when I was looking for the price. I'll be right back. We've got one more segment to go. Basil Chapter 30 edition, 8:50 a.m. I'll be right back.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the market's open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Hi, folks. So we're back, and we'll see what happens in an hour's time. But in the meantime, back at the ranch, the Dow futures are down 206. The S&P futures is down 35. FXI, which is iShares China Large Cap ETF, keep an eye on this. It's really struggling. It's got a sharp move down from the 29 area down to the 27s at this point. I just think it's stuck in a range, and so far it's making lower highs and lower lows. That's Amazon. Just a real quick thing. Amazon is down 70 cents. It's gone to that leg D. See, so many of these Ds are saying, yeah, good action, but you've got to be ready. Oracle, just I said had a question about Oracle. Yeah, also look at that huge move up. This is actually still leg D in the weekly chart. What a fantastic move. Just in the last couple of weeks, going from the 90s to 126, 27. Here it is. This is an alternate account. So that's A, EA, F, G/C, DE. Gone to an E and down $1.33. So all of these stocks that have been absolutely fabulous are starting to weaken. And that's what I'm saying. A digestive phase is needed. I'd like to see it. It's going to give us a really good opportunity to get into some other positions that we wanted. I mean, we've still not got back into hack, which we were in at some point. Now we're out peak F in the daily chart, possible G in the weekly chart, held very nicely. PANW was the leader there. That's Palo Alto. And you've got to look at this all separately. I'm now looking at this and saying for the next pullback, I think we want to go into the leadership. Either I get the ETF or I go to the leader of the ETF or whatever the sector is. Leadership is really what's going to count for the next big move to the upside. Have patience. I think you're going to get great buys. Cash at this particular point is important to have for opportunity. And that's the way I'm looking at the market for subscribers right now. We've had some really nice gains. I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of upside right now if there is a sudden spike for the opportunity to get specific stocks that we really like and we just held back waiting for them to come in to our focal point. Have a wonderful rest of the day and stay tuned. Tommy O'Brien's coming up for the morning market kickoff. I'll see you on Monday.